Hello YouTubers and welcome to Novus Talks with me, your host Novus Corvius. The audio might be a bit different in this video. I'm trying something different with how I'm setting it up. So if there's a bit of reverb or something, it's because I'm facing the wall and I have a different thing holding up the phone. So until I finally get the light sorted out, this is what we're going to have for the time being. But anyways, to jump right into it, I want to talk about Transformers Rise of the Beasts, simply because I haven't up to this point. And you may have noticed that. Anyone who's watched my previous videos on my last channel, or even on this channel, for the brief videos I've done in the past, I'm a big Transformers fan, especially anyone who follows me in social media. I'm a huge Transformers fan. Age of Extinction, my favorite movie of all time. Was very excited for the last night, followed all the trailers leading up to it. That movie did not turn out as advertised in the end, so that crushed my hopes. I followed that immensely, posted every day about it on social media, and I did the same thing with Bumblebee afterwards. On the lead up to Bumblebee, I did the trailer reactions, I did the marketing, posting pictures of the toys, all that sort of stuff. But I haven't really done that for Rise of the Beasts. Why is that? I have done a trailer reaction. I've done the Super Bowl reaction, which I only uploaded late, purely out of laziness, I have to admit. But why haven't I talked about that much? During the filming, I didn't cover it at all. Whereas with The Last Night and Bumblebee, I talked a lot about the filming of those films. I think I probably made one or two videos during the time Rise of the Beasts was filming, if at all. Why is that? The short and simple answer is it comes down to my interest in a film. I feel very conflicted on Rise of the Beasts. I'm in a strange situation. To sort of put into perspective, I suppose I should probably talk about how I feel about the movies overall. I already kind of gave you an idea there, but the first Transformers movie, I saw when I was young. It's what inspired me to want to become an actor and film director, right? Transformers since then has basically been my Avengers. Revenge of the Fallen, I like it. It has a lot of problems, especially in the second half, but there's a lot of fun moments in there, and especially with the action. So I can overlook a lot of its flaws, and I don't really have any strong opinions toward it one way or another. It just kind of exists. I can watch it, but at the same time, I can see the problems with it. Dark of the Moon, I love. For a time, was my favorite movie ever. Think that's really great. I like that. I'm happy that people recognize that as a good film. There's still a bit of a mixed opinion on it, but nowadays I'm seeing the opinion kind of shift toward more positive. And Age of Extinction, my favorite movie ever. I love that film. I think generally the critics tend to be talking absolute bullshit when I see reviews of the film, because most of the time they say stuff that there's plot holes, which there's not, that there's continuity problems, which there's not. And they talk about the action being incomprehensible and the characters all looking the same, which they very clearly don't. All this sort of stuff, right? I don't think critics properly gave them a proper fair shot. Fair enough if they don't like the film just as a movie and as of their own tastes, but to not like it because it's different from G1, I think is just bullshit, because Transformers has always changed. And then The Last Night, I really didn't like that movie. It was very disappointing. It was very unprofessionally made. It was sloppy. It was all over the place. But the humor, I will say, is weird, because the humor from the kids and stuff at the start is awful, cringy. But once you've Cogman and Anthony Hopkins in there, the humor is actually genuinely hilarious throughout the rest of that second half going onwards of the film. So it's probably the funniest Transformers film. And then Bumblebee, I just hated, which is weird. You wouldn't think that if you watched my trailer reactions or watched my review of the film, but as time goes on, like when I first saw it, I thought it was the best Transformers movie. As time goes on, I've grown to hate it because of the whole mess with the continuity, the fact that the characters just aren't well written at all, and the humans are very annoying, all that sort of stuff. So that brings us to Rise of the Beasts, where it's continuing on the style and I suppose story as well from Bumblebee, but it's making a more mix of the style and elements of the Michael Bay films. We're still doing the whole prequel reboot thing, not really a reboot, but we'll see in June, I guess. That continuity problem is still there. So it's like, yeah, it's more of a mix. It's leaning more in the Michael Bay direction, but it's still got elements of Bumblebee. It's still got the crappy transformations where it looks like they're just folding up instead of actually transforming. It's the characters. They are more G1 focused, but they're more realistic, which I appreciate. But at the same time, I don't like some of the designs. I don't like Primal's robot mode. I don't like Mirage. I don't like Scourge at all. I think that's really bad design. Battle Trap looks awesome. We haven't really seen Nightbird yet. And of that, so far, like those designs, I'm just not a fan of, and I don't like those. I want those to be changed or tweaked in the best ways that they can. And Optimus Prime, I have a few mixed opinions on. I like the mouth, but now they've made it wider, so I don't know how to feel. It's weird, right? I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way in that regard. But in terms of my hype and my interest, it's because I feel like I'm at an all-time low with this franchise. I'm anticipating this movie, but I can't say I'm really excited for it. I am going to see it, obviously. No matter what negative opinions I have of it, ultimately I'm going to see it, and I'm going to see it like 4 times. Of course I am. Even if I fucking hate the film and think it's the worst thing ever, I'm still going to see it multiple times because it's new Transformers, right? I don't have a lot of faith in the film in terms of the writers and stuff. This film has like 5 writers, apparently. There's a different writer for each act of the film. There's a lot of rewrites. The plot leaks, which may not be true, they make it sound like it's going to be the worst one yet. And yeah, sure, they're probably not true, but we thought the same about the last night's plot leaks, and they were spot on. So if the plot leaks for this are true, we're completely fucked. We're going to get an absolute disaster train wreck of a movie. There's all of that, there's a human cast. I don't like the cast they've chosen. I don't like going for a hip-hop soundtrack. I can tell the type of comedy they're going to go for as well. They're going to go for a very stereotypical Brooklyn, how do I put this politely in an inoffensive way? Very much a Brooklyn neighborhood, people of color kind of humor, right? I'm sure you kind of understand what I'm trying to go for. I hope you do. That kind of style, right? Not in Transformers. That's not going to work at all. I can see them going for that. And the fact that Stephen Cable Jr. confirmed this film will focus on like Black heritage and Latino culture and things of that nature, which is fine, all well and good, but in Transformers, it doesn't fit. We're not watching this for the humans. Who cares? I'm watching this for the Maximals. I'm watching this to see Cheetor. I'm watching this to see Optimus Primal. I'm watching it to see Rhinox, Airazor. I don't care about the human stuff. That's really grinding me down about this movie, especially since I didn't like the humans in Bumblebee. And that coupled with the robot designs, the transformations, I don't have faith in this movie. I have a feeling it's definitely going to feel like a mix of the older Transformers movies. It's probably going to have like the style of Bumblebee, and it's going to try and emulate the action of the Bay films. Whether it succeeds or not, probably not. But I mean, the final battle in the trailer did look really good, but that's just a snippet of it. We don't know, how the rest of that's going to go, but that looks promising at least. So, like, yeah, I hear a lot of positive things, but then I see like the trailer and I see the designs and the TV spot, and I'm just like, I don't know how to feel about this film. I'm very conflicted. I'm a very pessimistic person in general, so that's probably a lot of it as well, but I have been burned heavily by the last 2 Transformers movies. So I'm expecting this to just be the same, because it's not trying to be what the better Transformers movies were. It's trying to go for the more G1 style. And I know I'm still going to have the same continuity argument with people that I've been having for the last 5 years. So, like, there's very little there to make me really happy and excited. It feels kind of draining in a way. And it feels like it's not doing anything new. It feels like they're trying to go, as the whole franchise in general is, right, more G1-esque. Yeah, sure, they have the Maximals, and maybe they have the Predacons in this as well, right? But, like, the Maximals are not going to have that much screen time. Let's be completely honest. We have 6 past Transformers movies that'll tell us how this will go. The Dinobots in Age of Extinction and The Last Knight didn't get much screen time at all. Dragonstorm and The Last Knight didn't get much screen time at all. The Constructicons in Revenge of the Fallen didn't get much screen time at all. What makes people think the Maximals are going to be any different? It's a different director, sure, but like Michael Bay didn't write the past films. Stephen Cable Jr. didn't. Well, actually, he did write parts of his film, so okay, you can potentially blame him if they don't have enough screen time, or you can give him the praise if they do. Like, I just know they're going to show up in like the last third act of the film, probably because there's so many That's another thing I haven't gotten around to yet. There's so many Transformers in this film. The Last Knight did the same thing. It tried to introduce different factions of Transformers. It had like almost 50 named characters, and none of them had any screen time. That alone is like talent in and of itself. To have that many characters and not have any of them get a focus, that's downright impressive. So this film is going the same thing. You have like 5 different factions of Transformers. None of them are going to get any screen time, I guarantee you. There's probably 1 or 2 Decepticons, if any. The Predacons, we don't even know if they're in the film. If the plot leaks are real, then they are in the film, but they're not the Predacons we know and want. They're either going to be these insect-looking clone things, or there's only going to be 6 of them that are loosely based on Beast Wars, but don't have the same names or voice actors. So either way, like the Predacons, the Decepticons, not in this. The Terracons, they're not interesting. So far, I've seen nothing of them to make them interesting villains. They just look like Decepticons with a name change, right? Scourge has all these logos on them, but it doesn't mean much. Onslaught had those in The Last Knight as well. There's a lot of the same things I've seen before come up, and because we've been disappointed in the past, I'm expecting the same thing again. Like, I just know Scourge, Nightbird, Battletrap, there's not going to be that much to distinguish them from Decepticons. And even if there is, they're all going to die anyway. It's a Transformers movie. The villains always die, right? So, like, I have very little reason to expect the best out of this. The signs all seem to point to the worst. People who love Bumblebee are expecting great things from it. I grew up with Beast Machines, and I recently watched Beast Wars, and I loved that as well. So I'm obviously really invested in seeing the Beasts, and sure, that's new and exciting, but they're not going to have much screen time. I doubt it. So what does that leave me? I genuinely don't know. I'm very conflicted. I guess what would win me over is if we had a trailer that shows me that the action is excellent, it's on par with what we've had before. I suppose the funny thing is that it doesn't feel like a Transformers movie, what does that even mean? To say it feels like a Transformers movie implies, does it feel like the Michael Bay films, which people will say it doesn't feel like Transformers. So that's almost paradoxical thinking in a way. But it doesn't have that feel. It doesn't have the epic sense of scale and dramatics that Transformers is known for, right? Yeah, you've got to change things up. You've got to bring in heart and character interaction and stuff. But like, we're not watching this for the humans. I don't care. I want to watch this because I want to see Optimus Prime hack and slash Decepticons to pieces, or Terracons, whatever, in this film. I'm watching this because I want to see, I was going to say Rat Trap, but he's not in this film. My favorite Maximal, he's not in it. I want to see Rhinox bulldoze his way through an army of Terracons or Predacons, right? I want to see that kind of stuff. I just don't know that I'm going to get it. And even if I do get it, is it really going to be satisfactory? I just don't know. I feel like it's gonna hit the mark on a few things, but it's gonna miss it on a lot of things as well. So I'm very just sort of, some days I feel really excited and optimistic. Other days my hype and interest is at an all-time low. So I'm very conflicted. I'm hoping the next trailer or whatever blows my mind. It's not going to be epic like the previous Transformers movies. There's never going to be a trailer like that genuinely shakes me to my core and has me screaming my head off. Which makes me sad, because I want to have the reaction that all these YouTubers are having. I do, but this film is not going to give me that. So when I go into it, I don't want this movie to take itself seriously, because if it takes itself seriously, that's why it's going to flop. Transformers is never going to be serious. No matter how hard you try, you just can't. The robots are never going to get that much of a focus. There's always going to be a human element. So I just want to watch a dumb movie with robots, and they can follow the plot formula all they want from the past movies. Just give me a simple, interesting plot and just have dumb comedy from the past films. Don't have this Brooklyn comedy crap in there. Just make it feel like these movies did in the past, which is paradoxical to how it's being made, I know. There's a contradiction and a conflict of interests and ideas here. And I don't know if it can be resolved. I have very little faith, but as I said, maybe the best is yet to come. Who knows? I don't. But yeah, all in all, that is the short of it. That is why I haven't talked about Transformers Rise of the Beasts. My interests is at different levels every day. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. How do you feel about Transformers Rise of the Beasts? Are you on the same level as me? Are you super excited? Are you expecting the worst thing ever? Are you expecting this to be the best one? Do you understand or agree with what I'm saying? I want to hear everything you have to say down in the comment section below. And yeah, with that all said, thank you all for watching and please subscribe. Novus Corvus out.